I was seeing loose skin there.
Yep.
3 months ago. That is not, that's not there. So it's a rainy day in Glasgow and I am sitting in my car waiting to go and see Dr. Darren McKeown. He has a big aesthetics practice here in Glasgow. He has invited me to try out a Sofwave treatment. This was something that I was really interested to try in the first place because I follow a dermatologist on Instagram called Dr. Doris. Great name. And she is in her 60s and she looks amazing. I've tried to get her on the channel a couple of times now. One day I hope to succeed. And she says she gets this treatment twice a year and swears by it as one of her top tips. I've also seen people like Bryan Johnson. Now I know he's a quirky fellow, biohacker, but he's a big fan of it. So there were a couple of things that kind of caught my attention, and Dr. Darren has just recently introduced this to his practice and he's seen great results. And he's a very interesting doctor because he really championed lasers in Scotland before that was really the big thing. He's made some good calls on technology. I mean, he wasn't a big fan of Ultherapy, ultrasound. I'll ask him about that today. You're going to come with me and experience this treatment and see my before and after results. If you don't know me, I'm a journalist. I'm 53. I explore how to age well on the channel. And over the last couple of years, I stopped doing any kind of clinical procedures. I haven't had Botox or filler or anything like that for a couple of years. I use a Nero laser, I use microcurrent, and I use red light, and I weight train, and I do think the weight training is very helpful for toning. But let's see how we do. Hello.
Morning.
I'm Claire.
How are you?
This is lovely. Oh my goodness. My goodness. I'm just, will I just lie down and have my afternoon nap? Hello. I'm ready to be soft-waved.
I'm excited for you.
I'm excited. How spicy is it going to be?
So I am aiming for 5 or 6 out of 10. So
I had Ultherapy.
Right, what did you think of Ultherapy?
I found that toe curling.
Yeah, what happens there is you get some of the ultrasound reflecting off the bone and coming back up, so you get double delivery. That's why over bony areas you can sometimes get more pain. So I trialled Ultherapy 3 times over 10 years and never bought it, and I've bought most things. The results were a little bit too variable for me. That was one thing. But number 2, the depth of penetration that it goes to, you are very much in fatty tissue.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do get problems with fat loss. There's lots of things that I love with the Sofwave. Number 1, it does not go any deeper than 1500 microns, so it's 1.5 millimeters. Okay. So every bit of energy is going into the skin.
And Ultherapy, that's more like 4 millimeters, that kind of thing?
I think you can get down to like 6 and 7. The rationale is that you're in the SMAS, which is the muscle layer, but it's really not that muscly. The SMAS is mainly fat. Yeah. And when you're delivering all that energy in there, you're melting fat. Yeah. And most of us need a wee bit of fat in the face when we get older.
It's great under the chin.
Yep.
You know, when it melted the fat under my chin, I was glad of that. But the cheeks, I definitely saw, I lost some volume in my cheeks that I could have done with.
A couple of differences with Sofwave, right? So number 1 thing is you're only going to 1.5 millimeters. Mm-hmm. So you are very much within the skin. That's a good and bad thing. Mm-hmm. It means that we're purely getting skin tightening. Yeah. And people need to realise skin tightening is not the same as face tightening. Yes. So your skin is the outer part of the face. Mm-hmm. It makes up between 1 and 2 millimeters for most of it. Yeah. The rest is fat, muscle and bone that we're doing nothing to.
Yes, so this is more superficial.
Yep.
If you had very heavy sagging, it's not going to make a major difference.
I still use it for heavier sagging, but I'll always combine it with something else like preferably HA.
Hyaluronic acid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm using a little bit of Julaine these days as well. Mm-hmm. Julaine is PLLA, polylactic acid. Okay. It's like Sculptra.
Right, oh yeah, okay.
Have you tried Sculptra?
I haven't tried Sculptra, too scared.
First of all, I see lots of very beautiful results from Sculptra. I see patients coming back They've had it elsewhere, and I'm always very jealous and tempted to start doing it because you see so many lovely things. The problem with it is they have a big problem with nodules. A lot of patients get nodules. That's an
the
issue.
lumpiness happens to you, you're going to be devastated.
Yeah, you're stuck with it.
And you stuck with it for like, that's it?
Years. Yeah. So Julaine is basically a competitor to Sculptra. It's another PLLA product, but it is made by a Swedish company who have made the particles, number one, smaller and smoother. And by doing so, they seem to have rid of the problem with the lumpiness. So for people who are hesitant about having HA, it's another option.
Okay.
So for the sort of like really saggy volume loss, Sofwave is going to be helpful, but you just need something else going on under the skin.
Boost. Yeah.
Exactly.
Looking at my face,
yes.
What could I expect, you think, from this?
Well, what I want you to tell me first of all is what you see that you don't like.
My eyes, definitely being naturally hooded. If I could get any kind of lift on the eyes, I would be delighted.
Okay.
And then here, I noticed this here softening a little bit. And again, any kind of more definition. I noticed that if my eyes were like that, that's what they've been like all my life, but they've not. They've kind of gone like that now. So any kind of lift here would be brilliant. I noticed a little bit of loss of elasticity here.
Okay, fine. In the neck.
It doesn't thin noses, does it?
It doesn't thin noses. We're going to use this guy here to blow some cold air. Number one, cools the surface of the skin a little bit, which, helps reduce the temperature, which therefore reduces the pain. Yep. The other thing is that it gives you a little bit of distraction and desensitizes you a little bit, so that makes a big difference.
Well, I'm going to be tough.
I can feel it in my bones, you're going to be tough. That little patch there. And then we'll do a little bit up here as well to get us a little bit of vector lift from there. A few wee pulses just in that submental area there. We'll come right down the neck. I'll do some pulses just under the jawline here, just try and tighten this in a little bit for us. And then we will come around the temple. Yeah. And I'll do a few wee pulses.
Okay,
I'm
excited for that. Okay. How long do we wait for results? How long do results take?
So with all of these collagen remodeling things, collagen remodeling is a process. Usually takes about 12 weeks.
Is that gas and air?
That's a bit cold air.
I mean, I need this for menopause, full stop. I could just take one of these around with me, that would be amazing.
So the first 2 or 3 seconds, you really won't feel much at all. It keeps up gradually. The 4th and 5th second, you'll be like, oh, make it stop, and then it stops.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So 3, 2, 1. How was that?
That's alright.
5 or 10? Very good. We'll do another couple.
You can tell I'm trying to be all bravado now.
How's that feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting to like 4, 5. That was a bit more intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bearable. It's way more bearable.
I can't tell you how much good that cold air is doing.
Yeah.
Like without the cold air.
Yes, I can imagine.
It is, it's a whole different experience.
It's amazing.
What the prize!
Oh my god! Yeah. We did it!
We did it!
In places, parts under here, couldn't really feel it much. Around the temples, that was all highly bearable. And then just in places, over the jawbone, around here, pretty prickly.
What would you rate it out of 10 in terms of pain?
It wasn't like Ultherapy. I mean, I remember having like Tixel, like these skin burning treatments basically, and it was a little bit like that, where it just gets, there's just a point where it becomes intense, and you can see little bits of swelling, which you were hoping for.
Exactly.
Whew. I'm back in the car. Speechless. No. That was really sore in parts and not terrible in others. But Darren is just so lovely. Like, he made the whole thing bearable. The cold air was a great idea. I can see these little areas of swelling now. So I'm excited for it. I'm pleased I did it. Pleased I toughed it out. Let's see what the next few weeks bring. So it's the 15th of June. It is 3 months since I had the Sofwave treatment, and I'm back in Glasgow today to check in with Dr. Darren and compare before and after photos. I have to say that it has been a very gradual unfolding, but I think that there has been an improvement. 6 to 8 weeks in, my jowls stopped bothering me so much, and notice it more in filming when we were, my husband would film me side on from underneath. That was it's not a good look on anybody, but I noticed that was becoming more of I was having to think about angles in a way that I wouldn't have done before. So I think that there has been a lift around the jowls. I don't think too much difference on my eyes because my eyes are just so very naturally hooded anyway. I can see why this is popular. I would say that it's an expectation management thing. In my own scenario, I didn't see a sudden lifting. It was something that sort of gradually, slightly lifted over time. I can also see why my favourite Dr. Doris Day, she has it twice a year. Now that would be far too expensive for me, but I can kind of see the logic there why she's doing that. She also has a twice yearly BBL treatment, and today I am going in for a Broadband light treatment. I'm going to have that on my cheeks to see if I can tackle thread veins that I can see in my cheeks there that are contributing, I think, to some of the rosacea that I get. And that one I'm paying for as a customer. So let's take a look at the before and after pictures, and then I'll come back and share final thoughts.
I kind of felt as though this all feels tighter. I think the neck looks tighter as well.
Actually, the eyes look slightly better too, because I didn't sort of feel because my eyes are so hooded.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been like that my whole life,
Yeah, you're right. That does feel a little bit less heavy. If you look at the distance between the eyelashes and the crease, you've definitely got a little bit of space there.
I've got more space,
which
haven't I?
you didn't have before. And same on the other side, you're touching the eyelashes there, whereas here we've got that little bit of, and then I'll show you the side view. Hang on.
Right, I'm noticing it more at the side. Yeah, the little pouch.
It's always really difficult to get the head position exactly the same. However, what I would say is that there, I think your head is tilted more up the way, whereas we've got you more neutral there.
Yes.
But actually, despite that, that still looks tighter than that.
Yes. Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, because that should look more
That should look
bulged.
because your head is down, whereas there your chin is going up.
Actually, when I see here, it's quite difficult to, I'll put these on screen as I'm talking them through, but you can see the loose skin here, which reminds me, I was seeing loose skin there 3 months ago. That is not, that's not there.
Yep.
It's interesting, isn't it? I feel like it just took me back. I don't know, back in terms of how much time.
Yeah.
But it's been the difference between noticing that slide a little bit and and not noticing that slide.
Yeah. It's kind of what you expect, I guess, from Sofwave, in that the results are always subtle, they're not dramatic. If you want to be really snatched, you still need surgery, but actually we just have that little bit that's that you wish was a little bit tighter. This is where Sofwave is really helpful.
Just talk me through really quickly again, what has happened over that period of 3 months beneath the surface of my skin.
We have gone in there at 1.5 millimeters, and it is precisely 1.5 millimeters, which is important with Sofwave because it doesn't go deeper than that, because then you end up in the fat. And
losing fat.
Losing fat can be helpful in some areas, not always. But with the Sofwave, you're literally at 1.5 millimeters, which is the depth of the skin. So you're delivering all that energy into there, which creates a little coagulation. So basically burns a little bit in the inside.
Yeah.
And we are aiming to burn somewhere between 20 and 30% of the surface area of the skin. And then when that heals, it creates new collagen, which then contracts as those first few months go by.
Yes.
So that's why, You see a little bit of improvement in the first, immediately when it's done, which you're mainly looking at swelling at that point. Then it kind of goes back to how it was, and then you slowly start to notice that improvement.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
I think you do look nicely lifted.
Yeah, and it's not like people have said, what have you done to your face? You know, what's changed? But, you know, I've had some comments like, you're looking good. And I mean, that's the kind of thing that happens, isn't it? You just get a little bit of a refresh. And one of my favorites I mentioned when I first came in, Dr. Doris Day, she's a New York dermatologist. And she Sofwave done twice a year and BBL twice a year.
Yes, it's the winning combination. That is actually the two things that I do to my own face as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do BBL more frequently than that, just because I love the glow that I get from BBL. So I probably do that every month or two, which is potentially excessive, but I just love it. And then Sofwave, I've had it twice now, not because I really needed the second session, but just because I love the effect that it had on my skin.
Yeah, no, well, you look good. Thank you. I'm going to go away and try BBL for myself now, so I get rid of some of my little spider bites. So overall, I think Sofwave is a good treatment and one that I'm likely to do again in future, but I'll have to start saving because the average price for covering a full face in the UK starts from around £1,500, similar in dollars in the US, but it will of course vary by clinic and location. And what I would say is my jawline is not fully firm after this treatment, but it has improved enough that I don't really notice the slackening that was beginning to annoy me as I passed the mirror and caught my side profile. So as he said, how you feel about Sofwave result does come down to your initial expectation. You are likely to see skin tightening with Sofwave, but this is not a non-surgical facelift and results last between 1 to 2 years. Just after my 3-month review with Dr. Darren, I paid £525 to have a full face BBL treatment. It was the first time I tried it, and I'm going to share my results in a separate video because it'll take a few more days for my patches of pigmentation to completely flake off. But already, I think that's been a brilliant treatment in terms of just how my skin is looking. Way less red, more collagen, I would say, and less pigmentation. So just as I invest in my body by building muscle and eating mainly natural foods, I invest in my skin health through a supportive skincare routine that I'll link below, and also occasional collagen boosting treatments like these ones. And you're going to find more cosmetic treatment reviews and expert insights linked in the description, as well as on my website honest.scot, where you can keep up with all my latest episodes and articles, and also sign up to my free monthly newsletter. You'll find the form to do that at the bottom of any page. So let me know if there are any cosmetic treatments that you're thinking of trying or have tried and found to be particularly effective, because we learn best from each other. And until next time, thank you for watching.